Alrighty, today we have another great episode of How Did I Get Here? I, of course, am your host, MCEscher. I managed to find mythical creatures lesser known to humanity, and I managed to get one here for all you wonderful listeners out there. I'm sure you will be able to guess which one I've got here pretty quickly. I'll just say it involves a lot of water. But today, here with me, I have Rachel. Rachel, could you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I am Mermaid Rachel, and I'm a professional mermaid at the Dive Bar in Sacramento, California.
Yeah, and we're actually at the dive bar right now.
We should have done this underwater.
We should have. Oh man, I don't know if I have that equipment, but that would be awesome.
No, the fish could have joined in. I'm sure they have lots to say.
Yeah, because you guys swim with. I've seen the fish. They're in your guys' tank,
Yeah,
right?
we swim every single night in a 40-foot saltwater aquarium that's suspended above a bar. I have a team of 12 or 13 mermaids and mermen, and we swim with live fish in a saltwater tank. So it's pretty wild. It's very cool.
Wow. Do you guys like feed the fish or do you feed the mermaids? I don't know.
You should always feed mermaids. You know, if you don't feed mermaids, they turn into sirens, and then you got bigger problems.
Oh, that's how that works.
That's how that works. Let me tell you, it's really rough. We actually have a team of aquarists who take really good care of our fish. They come in and they feed them. They're on a feeding. An aquarist.
What is that?
That's a person who takes care of an aquarium. It is a word I didn't know until I started this job. So.
I didn't know that job until just now.
Yeah, they take care of all the fish. We have about 15 different species, including monofish. We have some squirrelfish that, you know, are some of my favorites because they look really anxious. They've got big eyes. Yeah, if you see the little red fish that look freaked out, those are our squirrelfish. And then we have two gigantic remoras. And remoras are those fish that stick to the bottom of other fish. They have a suction cup on the top of their head. Huh. So if you see a shark cruising and he looks like he's kind of got another little fish stuck to him, that's a remora. And we've got two in our tank. Their names are Zip and Celery Sticks.
Are the mermaids not counted in that fish list? Or
in the fish list, you know, they're only half fish, so we can't.
That's fair. Yep,
You know,
I forget myself.
You can only list the bottom half in the fish list.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Oh, wow, that's so much wonderful information. So you are a saltwater mermaid then?
Here at Dive Bar, I am a saltwater mermaid. You know, it's a saltwater tank, which is actually so much easier on us as performers because the salt water in our tank is the same salinity level as our eyes, right? Your eyes are salty. When you cry, you have salty tears. So when we open our eyes, it doesn't hurt. We can do inversions, go upside down during our shows, and it's not going to burn like it feels in an ocean where it's really salty, or a pool or anything. You get that spicy wasabi pain. So it's so nice to perform in this tank with salt water. I grew up in Yosemite Valley, so I grew up swimming in the Merced River.
Not the ocean?
And not the ocean. So I think in my heart I am a little high Sierra freshwater mermaid, but professionally I'm a saltwater mermaid. Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, that's an important distinction.
It is. There's different fish, right? You're not going to see a rainbow trout in a saltwater tank. You know?
It's true. That makes sense. Like, so you are the head mermaid here at the dive bar. That is your official title. So, like, how would you describe yourself? You say you like hire, you know, all the different mermaids, you train them and all that stuff. How long does that process kind of take?
It's very involved. I've been at Dive since we opened. We started training in 2010, so I've been here for quite some time. And at that time, there were, you know, maybe 3 professional mermaids working in the world. And we hired one of them, Mermaid Lyndon, who lives down in LA. She's part of the movie and film industry. She's a stunt woman. She's a free diver. She's amazing. So
good for her.
She came up and she trained us to do this job. And I was lucky enough to have a few other mermaid mentors, Mermaid Melina, who lives out in Virginia, and then Medusarina, who is an incredible underwater performance artist of all kinds with tails and legs, and she works in Florida, and she's incredible. So learning from them and through a lot of trial and error and not really knowing what we were doing for the first few years and faking it, we've built this amazing, this is a very silly word to use for a bar that deals with water, but immersive experience here at Dive Bar. You know, you feel like you're really under the sea when you walk in the bar. It's decorated with these custom-built LED jellyfish that one of the mermaids actually made because she's an LED artist. You know, there's mermaid art. There's all of this atmosphere that gives you this immersive feeling. And as head mermaid, that's always the goal, and that's always the performer's goal, to take you out of this sort of mundane world that everybody has to exist in and enjoy a little bit of magic and make it look effortless and beautiful when it is not effortless to be in that tank. The training, when I audition people and we hire new people, training takes 2 months before you don't look like absolute garbage in there. The auditions, I can tell almost immediately. I don't even put a fin on somebody. I just get them in the water and I can tell if they're gonna make it or not in this tank. It's very intense, yeah. Think circus performer meets synchronized swimmer meets actress meets dancer. Like, it's a lot.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll start with you because there's a lot of fun stuff to unpack there. Let's start with you and your experience. Mm-hmm. How did you said you studied under all these great people, but how did you get started? How did you find this pathway? Like, I'm sure you didn't just find an ad in the newspaper in, 2010? 2010. Like, I don't think you found an ad in the newspaper.
Well, you know what's funny? It wasn't newspaper. It was Craigslist.
It was Craigslist.
Yes. So I was born in Hawaii. My family are water people. Like, wow. We're water people. We're all over the place. And it's always been so ingrained in me, this like love of the water and the ocean. Always been very comfortable in it. And I was a kid when all of this mermaid media was big. Like Little Mermaid came out, the Disney version, Splash came out in the 80s. There were all of these mermaid toys and this like 80s, early 90s toy boom, right, that all the millennials were interested in. I've revealed my age now, which is fine. And mermaids were just always sort of like lurking, right, in the brain space. And my mom is a professional seamstress. Oh. When I was in high school, I had this idea that I wanted her to sew me a mermaid tail I could swim in. And she was like, "Oh, you're gonna drown." And I was like, "Maybe." So she did it, thank you, Mom. And I'd love to circle back around to my mom, but she made me swim in my grandparents' pool to make sure I wasn't gonna drown. It was essentially a tube with 2 little separate swim flippers in the bottom, so I looked a little bit more like a seal, little.
Yeah. Huh.
And I had that tail all through high school, and I would take it when we went on a vacation somewhere with water, right? So I had all these photos and went through college, got a degree in illustration in San Francisco and Oakland, and the year I graduated college, my friend sent me this Craigslist ad for this bar in Sacramento that was looking for people to be mermaids. Wow. So when I applied, I had all of these like bad vacation photos in this fakakta tail to be like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I did not know what I was doing. Spoiler alert, I did not know what I was doing, but I was so confident. And I interviewed, we got in the tank, Lyndon came out and trained us, we're getting ready to open. We started training in like November 2010. And there was another woman here who was the head mermaid, and they let her go the week before we opened. Oh, no. So the owner at that time gave me a call and asked if I wanted to be the head mermaid. And I've just been, faking it ever since. I've been faking it for over a decade now, and it's seemed to work out.
Yeah.
Well.
We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then from there, I got to ask, like, how like tell me about the training that you were put through and that you still put people through, or if it was different for you, or if it's the same now.
It was like so much trial and error. The tank that we swim in, there are so many challenges, right? It's 40 feet long, 4.5 feet deep, 4.5 feet wide. So it's kind of like taking a standard lap lane and sticking it above a bar. It doesn't have depth, you know.
Okay.
It's saltwater, so we float. Humans float in saltwater.
Oh,
so
wow.
we actually have to wear weights between our legs that we secure before we put the tail on so that we aren't just buoyant in the tank.
Oh, man.
Your visibility is compromised. You know, you can't see clearly. Everything's blurry. It's dark. If you don't like confined spaces, this is not a job for you, right? You're in a little box of water. The fish every now and then get a little adventurous and decide they want to clean you or just, you know, give you a little nibble. They usually don't break the skin, but it's surprising because you can't usually see them coming, and then you're like, something bit me. Oh, it was probably a fish, I hope. I think it was.
Great.
And then, you know, you're dealing with your hair in your face. You're trying to figure out how to swim gracefully, all of these factors. And then the kicker is because our tank is suspended, every 4.5 feet, there is a steel beam that holds the tank up, and that is about an inch above the water. And if you don't know where they are, you can surface and knock yourself out or get a head, neck, and spinal injury. So it's very dangerous, right? This tank is dangerous. So much of our training is safety-based, how to navigate this space, what to do if something happens. We do rescue drills. We always have somebody have eyes on that mermaid if they're in the tank. It's pretty crazy. And when we started, you know, there's not like a blueprint for this, right? Lyndon, who's so incredible, came up from LA, but a lot of her work was in pools or open ocean, right? She taught us the basic beautiful mermaid swim. She taught us a lot about free diving, which is holding your breath for extended periods of time. And again, she led with safety with all of that, right? Like, we want to always prevent shallow water blackouts. We want to prevent hypothermia, right? The tank is heated to the comfort of the live animals, not to the performers.
Of course.
So, a little chilly. So we really got, with Lyndon, we only had 2 days with her, this basic training. And then it was about 1.5 years before we sort of got things locked in. Now when I hire folks, I do a sit-down interview, you know, all the usual questions you ask. What's your availability and how far are you? How quickly can you get to work? All of this stuff. And then it gets into, well, what's your performance experience? You know, have you acted? Have you danced? Have you swam before? I've had people interview and tell me, oh, well, I just thought I could wear the costume, but I wouldn't have to swim.
Are you serious? That's hilarious.
And I've had people get in the tank and not want to put their head underwater. Very, very weird. Like, I'm always like, have you seen the show? Do you know what a mermaid does? No?
Yeah.
Okay, they swim, mostly. That's
watch
the biggest
The
thing.
Little Mermaid? Like, lays it out pretty clearly there.
Pretty clearly there. So, sit-down interview. Then I get them into our tank without a tail, without a monofin, which is like the bottom part of the tail, sort of, that you put both of your feet in. It's one fin, monofin.
Okay.
And I just see how comfortable they are in the water. I see if they have big pufferfish face, if their eyes are squinched closed, you know, if they can comfortably open their eyes. I see how they can handle their buoyancy, like how floaty they are, if they're able to release air and sink, or if they're struggling and thrashing around the whole time. How quickly they can take correction, right? Mm. So if we do something and I say, oh, this time slow it down, you know, or this time smile, you know, how quickly are they going to learn? And then if they get past that first tank audition, we do a second tank audition, and I actually put them in the tail, have them swim. And again, it's more, okay, how quickly are you catching up to all of this? Because we do want them to learn fast so they can start performing right away, but it is a big learning curve. I have a list in the Mermaid Handbook that all of the performers here have of tricks that they need to be solid on before they get to be in front of an audience. And then there's sort of a second tier of tricks that they develop as they get more comfortable in that tank. And it honestly, even after those 2 months of training, it takes new performers about a year before they're really like, okay, I've got it dialed in. I'm probably not going to run into the class or drop a prop and never be able to find it again because I can't see it.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it's an interesting skill set. And you can't practice the performance you do in our tank in a swimming pool or any other body of water.
You can't?
You can practice the basic swim, but you need that environment to practice, okay, I can surface here and not knock myself out. Okay, this is how I work with the fish. Okay, this is where the set pieces are that I can sit on or hold or whatever, right? It's a long process.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine you'd be running into fish half the time if you can't see them.
Luckily, the fish stay out of our way pretty well. Every now and then I accidentally whack one and then I feel terrible because he didn't move quite fast enough, but they don't want to be around us. They're like, why are you in my house again? Leave.
They get the general idea.
Yeah, they get the idea. They're like, oh, God. They're back.
Oh, man.
The big giant mammals are back.
So does that mean, like, pretty much all the training everybody does is in that same tank?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
If they have a monofin that they own themselves, they can go to a pool and just practice that basic swim, lock that in. That's really the only thing that's helpful to do,
Yeah.
like doing laps on a field or, I don't know, ice skaters skating in a circle. I don't know what to compare it to because I'm reading. Yeah.
That's a tough compare, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So I imagine you also have to be trained on just, like, holding your breath, right?
Mm-hmm. The breath hold in the way that our tank is designed, our mermaids average probably like a 45-second breath hold, which isn't that long. But it's about the misdirection of using the props, of having a relaxed face, of doing all of these different things and not looking like you're struggling and surfacing really quickly because you've run out of air. And folks don't really they aren't down there with a stopwatch, right? Being like, oh, she was only down there for 45 seconds. She's not a real mermaid, So it's 45-second breath holds. And then we try to do between an 8 and a 10 count, quick, okay, breath, head above the water, and right back down. And that's for 25 minutes, twice. So that's your shift. You show up, you do your makeup, you get everything set for an hour, stretch, make sure you're hydrated, do your 25-minute show, get a break to warm up, rinse off, and then do your second 25-minute show. So it's pretty physically demanding.
Yeah. I believe it. You guys, I imagine you'd have to wear some sort of, I guess, special, like, waterproof makeup situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. We've had a lot of success with Ben Nye, who's a very, established special effects makeup company. Like, they've been around for decades. But also, anything that's petroleum-based, oil-based, stays on in the water. So lipsticks do pretty well. Powder eyeshadows just disintegrate, right? Because it's dust. It just goes into the water. And there are, especially since we started in 2010, there have been a lot of improvements in formulas. And some of this makeup, you can fall asleep in it, which I don't recommend, but you can fall asleep in it and wake up and be like, okay, I'm ready to go. Maybe to a drag club, because our makeup's pretty intense, but I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Huh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something similar that you went through as well? I guess, were you also trained in the same tank?
Yeah, it was the same tank, but it was just those 2 days with Lyndon. And there's a lot of footage from that first year that I will never show anyone because we looked so bad before we figured it out and, again, really got it locked in. And then I was able to train later on with folks like Melina in Virginia and Marina down in Florida who helped, here's some helpful tips to not look crazy, right? It's an ongoing thing. And I think any performer worth their salt will be like, oh no, I could always be better. Oh no, I could always right?
Huh.
We should all want to be the Simone Biles of whatever our
Absolutely.
industry is, right? Like,
Yeah.
keep getting better, keep being amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Even after you win a gold medal.
Even after you win, go win some more.
Absolutely. So you've done this job for almost 10 years now.
Since 2010, so 14 years now.
14, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. So for you, this is pretty much a full-time job because you're the manager. So for a lot of these mermaids, is this like a full-time job, or is this kind of like more of a side job or side hustle?
I have one other mermaid who this is her main source of income, like me. I'm really lucky that as the head mermaid, this is my main source of income. I also have an LLC with my mom called Mermaid and Mom, where I do like kids parties, and because she's a seamstress, we do costumes and things too. But my other mermaid, who swims the most, and this is her main source of income, is also an actress. So, that's gig-based work, right? Like, you get it when you get it, and when you don't, you don't. But the majority of mermaids do have day jobs. I have a sign language interpreter who also plays hockey and was a professional figure skater. I have an HR assistant. I have the LED light artist who has a children's party company. Lots of varied folks here. I've had an EMT driver before. I had a dolphin trainer at one time.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, it is like folks will swim, 2 or 3 times a month, and that's plenty because this is something they do because they love it, and it's different and challenging and fun for them.
Yeah, I imagine it is very different. How often do you guys have a show?
Every single night.
Every single night. Okay.
Every single night. And always, if you're going to come to Dive Bar and check it out, look at the website for the show times. We have a lot of folks who come in when we first open at 3 p.m., and I'm so sorry to say, but mermaids are very nocturnal, so they're not going to hit that tank until the evening. Always check the show times on the website if you're looking to see a mermaid show. So.
Gotcha. Okay. So, you said you went to school, what was it? Was it drawing or?
Illustration.
Illustration,
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you think that helped? Would you recommend like getting anything else? Do you think is there like a certificate that you need to get, that says I learned how to be a mermaid?
I learned how to be a mermaid. I think seek out those who have done it before. I'm always going to talk up Lyndon because she started us here. And I think she has one of the most beautiful swim styles I've ever seen. Also, I'm always going to talk up Medusa, the fire-eating mermaid. Beautiful, beautiful. And then there's a mermaid in Singapore called the Singapore Mermaid, funnily enough. And you will be able to find mermaid swim schools around the country to learn how to do this. But I caution folks against getting into any sort of mermaid certification, which also exists. Those are really good for safety and learning the basics, but they are not going to help you for artistry or performance or technique. It is so basic. It's like, I don't know, if you're learning to roller skate, how to stand in your skates, how to clean them, how to not fall down, how to wear your helmet right. But you're not going to learn a backwards skate and a triple axel, and I don't know what skaters do. But
yeah, I gotcha.
So there are programs like that out there, and I do appreciate that they're helping out with safety. But I think find a mermaid performer that you admire, and you admire their swim style, you admire their acting. All of the videos that you see of them online are not in slow motion. They're just swimming slowly on their own merit, and have them teach you how to look good underwater.
I gotcha. And it sounds like as well, like you guys have a very specific tank set up, so like whatever people learn on the outside, if you come to the dive bar, You got to learn like where to put your head when you come up because you don't want to hit the beam.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. I've had sometimes when I hire, it's actually easier for me to start with someone who has never swam in a tail than to break down bad habits from someone who's learned somewhere else.
Yeah.
That can be tricky to like reteach your body to do something in a different way.
Yeah, I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
So then with that in mind, like, I guess what does like an average day look like for a mermaid or for you as the manager of mermaids? I'm sure you got like a calendar, like this person's working this day, this person's working that day, but like, I don't know what that's like when like mermaids come in and show up for work as, you know, normal human beings.
Yeah, it varies, right, depending on what mermaid you are. Because I do work in the office a couple days a week, you know, it sort of depends if it's an office day or not. If it is a day that we're going to swim, we do try to be mindful of what we're eating, of how well we're hydrating ourselves. And it's late at night, right? Like,
Yeah.
we got to get mentally prepared to leave the house just when you're getting cozy and maybe thinking about getting into bed, you know? So there's like emotional prep too.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm sure those fish need some emotional prep as
They
well.
probably do. They do because there's such loud music. Every night they're like, all right, it's 8 o'clock, here comes the DJ, and then they're like, ah, help. Yeah, these little fish. When we show up to work, we do have like that prep hour, right? So that's getting on makeup. That's figuring out. There's a content creation aspect to this job as well, right? Because you have to promote so much, and that's fallen on the mermaids because they're the most sparkly, exciting thing, right, to promote. And think about what that's going to be, and if I need to do anything special in the tank, and sort of set up and talk to. There's always the mermaid who's the safety, so there's a swimmer every night, and then there's a safety mermaid, and they coordinate to do the social media creation and kind of get everything set. And yeah, then it's the swims. And while it is a lot of work, I know for a lot of the performers, like that tank is sort of like the Zen zone, right? Nobody can text you.
Yeah.
Nobody can call you. You're doing your thing. You're totally focused. And it's like being an astronaut, right? You're like floating in this other liquid space. It can be very cool. I love it. Love it.
I bet you've been doing this for a while.
I have, yeah.
So I've got some questions about the I don't want to say the flippers, the bottom half, the suit.
The tails.
The tail, yes, exactly.
Or
Thank
the
you.
costumes. You can call them costumes.
The
That's
costume,
fine.
yeah. How? Because it looks like they're in two separate pieces. There's like the one that kind of, I don't want to call it pants, but it's kind of like pants, and then you have the flippers that go on the bottom. I imagine that's got to be some sort of rubber, and it's not easy to put on.
Correct. So our tails are made out of silicone rubber, special effects grade silicone, and there are actually a lot of mermaid tail makers out there.
What?
When we first started, and still our tail maker is the Mertailer.
The Mertailer.
He's the Mertailer. That's his whole job. He makes mermaid tails, and we were some of his first clients when we opened.
I know.
There's a whole. I know. You got to interview him next.
I do. There's so many jobs that are involved in this that are like I've never heard of before.
There are top makers. It's huge. It's big enough that I run a mermaid convention here in Sacramento.
No way.
With my business partner.
What?
Yes, who's also a mermaid here. So
that's wild.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. But he makes the tails, and our tails weigh about 25 to 30 pounds. So they're heavy.
Wow, okay.
The tails that we have here that work really well for us are in those two pieces. And that's really great because they can dry so easily, right? We don't want these very expensive tails to get mildew, to get moldy. I have to repair them all the time. Our bodies change. I can take them in, I can let them out because they have to be a nice tight fit. And yeah, they're workhorses. The tail that I swim in I got in 2014, and she's still doing it. You know, some of them are looking pretty rough at this point, but I figured out how to patch them and keep them looking nice in that tank. So it's, yeah, everything is work, right? Bring it underwater, it's work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you got some very motivated individuals to like put on this 25-pound tail. Like, do you guys have to do something special to like, I don't know, make it I guess the transition from the plastic to like the person? I guess, do you have to like, is there some kind of makeup you put on or
Nope, it's just some of the mermaids like wearing like a little waist wrap to kind of like hide that edge, but it just looks like a little, you know, Ariel's got her little break there where it's green to skin tone. It's
yeah, I think she has some like fins that
yes,
pop
she
out.
has her little waist fins. We don't have waist fins.
Okay.
We just have a tail.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it is 2 parts. Do you have to put on like, I don't know, Vaseline or something before you put on that tail?
There are tails that are fully made of silicone, and you have to use a water-based lube to get in those because they stick. Our tails, because they're lined with neoprene, which is like wetsuit material.
Okay.
You just kind of you put the fin, the monofin, into the skin, which is the scaled part.
Okay.
There's like a little hole in the bottom. You slide it in sideways, and then you scrunch it up like one big sock. Put one foot in, get your heel strap on, put the other foot in, and then scrunch it up.
Shimmy into it.
Yep, shimmy into it. It is the most undignified process you've ever seen in your life. Like, have you ever put on really tight jeans? Probably not.
I tried to avoid that.
Have you seen a female in your life, perhaps, struggle to put on really tight jeans? It's like that, but it's one pant, and you can't stand up.
But it's what? Oh.
It's crazy.
I hope there's like a special mermaid chair for that. I don't know.
So our tank is really awesome. There's a little, in the entrance, we call it the chute. There's a part that is about 1.5 feet deep that is in the water already. Because once you have your tail on, you can't walk, right?
Oh.
You can't get from one place to
I didn't
another.
even think about that. How do you, that's got to be rough just coming out at flop. Oh man.
Yeah. So we've got our little chute that's attached to the tank, and we put the tail on there, and then we can dive right into the tank and come back into the chute and then take the tail off backstage, right?
Okay.
So no one ever has to see anything. We never have to walk anywhere. Mermaids can't walk. We're terrible at walking.
I was going to say, that would be a hilarious image if like somebody has to like crawl out after the show and they just have to like walk on their arms all the way to like the
just
changing
army
room.
crawl to the dressing room. No. The folks who built the tank were ingenious, and okay, how are these mermaids going to do this? Like, thank you to them forever.
Thank goodness they thought of that, because I mean, it would be hilarious, but that would be terrible.
They're too heavy on land. We cannot crawl in those things.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're too heavy.
And plus, like, whatever, how heavy is the weight that like you have to add?
It depends on your like physiology and body type. Some of the mermaids swim with 10 pounds. Some of them swim with 3 pounds.
And that's on top of like the 25-pound tail.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, salt water.
That's crazy.
Body fat floats and air floats, right? When you take a breath in and your lungs are full of air, you're going to float right to the top. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. So you mentioned like the training, and it takes like 2 months, really. How are you training them? Like, what is, I guess it's just really like going over the form and how to like swim and how to not hit your head kind of thing?
Yeah, so for the first few rounds of training, I'm in the tank with them, and I'm doing demos, and then they're trying it, and then I demo and they try it and I correct, and they do it and they try it and they correct. It's like a dance class, right?
Okay, yeah.
You do the drills, you do them over and over and over again. We do a lot of prop work too, so then there's like the acting drills, right? How to, if we're storytellers, how to tell that story so that an audience who is, enjoying their time with a cocktail can follow the story and get what you're doing. And there's some interaction that happens, right, with the performer and the patron. So lots of that. And after I'm in the tank with them and showing them things, then I actually come downstairs so I can see them, give correction. And I've also found that filming them and speaking into the video and going, okay, so see what you did there. Next time you're going to want to do this. Maybe adjust this a little bit. And so then the performer can see, right? Because it's really hard. You're not in a dance studio. You can't see that your arm is weird. You're underwater in your own space, right? You don't know exactly what's going on. So that's been a really helpful tool to be like, review your videos after your training session so you can see what I'm talking about. Come back and we'll try it again. And it's just that ad nauseum until they get it. And it takes a long time to get it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, like, what props can you possibly use? Like, I don't know what you're bringing, like, underwater besides, like, yourself and your tail. Like, what do you...
So many props. Mermaids love jewelry. We have a giant pirate flag we swim with, scarves, little jellyfish
Scarves,
that are
jellyfish.
friends. We have some starfish. We have bottles that we drink out of when we do bottle flipping. We have different bubble tricks, so we can make hearts with bubbles. We can make solid rings with bubbles.
Is that like oxygen or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
like,
blowing a bubble and it makes a heart. That takes 2 months to learn.
So for people who can't
Uh-huh.
see you, you're putting what, like 2 fingers and kind of making like a
Yeah.
heart motion in
Yeah,
the
you
air.
in the air after blowing out air out of your mouth.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know there were like props
Yeah.
involved and like.
Spyglasses, treasure chests.
Are you guys like throwing starfish
A
underwater?
skull.
That's always
We
good.
have a skull named Teddy.
Teddy, very Shakespearean.
He's everyone's boyfriend.
Oh, poor guy.
He and I always fight. You know, it's.
He must have not made it very long. He's just ahead.
Yeah. I'm telling you, feed the mermaids. Feed the mermaids.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Jeez, wow. So then what is like a good tip then, besides obviously feed the mermaids? I'm sure that's number 1 at the top of the list, but I don't even know what you feed them. I don't know if it's like fish food.
Cheese. A lot of cheese. There's so much cheese. Yeah. They love cheese.
Cheese. That's hilarious. Okay. I'll have to remember that one next time. Cheese. Bring a plate of cheese so I don't get eaten. Got it. So, but like, what's like the biggest thing you tell new mermaids? Like,
One of the biggest, well, the 2 S's I'm telling them forever and ever. Slow down. And then slow down more. Slow down even more. When Lyndon came and trained us, she said, look at fish underwater. Like, are they tearing through? Right? No, they're drifting. They're cruising. You know, you see a ray swimming. It's like everything is very slow and beautiful. So slow down. Smile. Smile, smile, smile. I'm always telling them to smile. And that's because when we go underwater, we tighten up everything. And if there's discomfort in your face, you don't look like a mermaid because you live under the water. Why would you be uncomfortable under the water? So smiling, you can't have a tight mouth. You can't have puffy pufferfish cheeks, right? It instantly relaxes your face. Slow down, smile. And then the last thing is the breath hold thing is psychological.
oh,
People, even without free dive training, which I do recommend, get free dive training, but your body will tell you you're dying way sooner than you're actually dying. Your diaphragm starts contracting when you're actually running out of air. Like you feel that little contraction. But you have such a long time before that even happens. It's all psychological. So I tell them, while you're underwater, sing a little song, do your ABCs, go through your grocery list, have your brain focus on something else rather than, oh my God, I'm running out of air. I need to pop up to the surface as quickly as possible. It works. It works. When you see a new performer get it and do a full lap in the tank and halfway back to the rock because she's singing, I don't know, Space Oddity as she's swimming, it's brilliant. Like just that little mental change. So much of it is all in your head. Yeah.
wow. So, I mean, I assume there are things you could do as well to like I don't know, go running in your spare time or something and try to like extend your like natural lung capacity.
Of course.
But as well, that's another portion, is trying to get over the mental game.
Yeah, the mental game, I'd say, is even more. The folks that do freediving, for realsy freediving, it's a really long, involved process. There's a breathe up, there's all this prep you do, and then you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. But then there's a lot of after work you have to do. And because we're swimming a 25-minute show, we can't be down there for 2 minutes and then swim out to recover for 10, and then go back in for 2 minutes, and then swim out to recover for 10. So those 45-second breath holds for 25 minutes are a much better show. It's more entertaining for the audience. They aren't getting this like weird show with big spaces in between for the mermaid to be like, okay, did my recovery, now I have to breathe up again. You know, it's a crazy process, like competitive, actual, real freediving. So we're just gently navigating that system here at Dive.
Jeez, wow. I guess, is there anything that I wouldn't expect? Like, I don't know, like you were talking about like the fish. I don't know if like you said there's somebody professionally who comes in. Is there any other intricacies like that? Like, I don't know how long it takes to like make a new tail. Does like every performer have their own tail?
Yeah. So each performer has their own tail, which helps me keep track of if they need repairs and responsibility. If I see a tail that's looking shabby and I haven't been told it's looking shabby, I get a little fussy. And these tails break all the time. They're like Broadway costumes. Like, they're used every single month. Someone's swimming every single night. So they're going to need a lot of repair. Making the tops, those need a lot of repair. Yeah, there's a costume for every mermaid that fits their body. And because, again, I'm a child of the 80s and 90s where we color-coded all our toys, right? There was the pink Power Ranger and the green Power Ranger, and then the pink Care Bear and the green Care Bear. That's how the mermaids kind of are, right? There's the orange mermaid and the green mermaid and the blue mermaid.
Got your own Power Rangers, I see.
I got my own Power Rangers.
Huh, okay.
That's just how my little brain likes to color sort, you know, everyone in a big rainbow. Rainbow of mermaids. It's great. I'm like, whose top is this? Oh, it's red. Who left their top out? I know exactly who I need to talk to leaving their top out.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so speaking of tops, do the mermaids themselves make their own tops? Like, do they design their own shtick costume?
So they can. They're free to make their tops, but they need to get it approved by me before it goes in front of an audience. And so many of the mermaids are creative, and they make beautiful things. I've made a lot of the tops here as well. And then I like to, if we're doing like a special event, let's say Halloween, right? We have scary mermaid costumes. Or for Christmas, keeping in our sort of blue color scheme, we do a lot of things with like snowflakes and, you know, special holiday things. So if it's something where there's a group of mermaids and we need to look a little more uniform, I'm a little more picky about what they're going to wear, and then what the makeup design is, so everyone looks like a unified team for these shows.
Oh, I gotcha. So that's so fun that you have like holiday costumes. That's not even something I would have even thought. Like, gosh.
We have a Sacramento Kings outfit.
No.
The mermaids swim in. Yes. For game nights.
I mean, that's awesome. I wouldn't even thought of that. So then, do like the mermaid tails change? Like, I don't know if you're just putting like vampire teeth on everybody.
On the tail. The tails usually stay the same. Again, they're very expensive, right?
Yeah.
So getting multiple tails that will fit multiple people for holidays is not always feasible. But for special events like Halloween or like New Year's Eve, I was able to create like a hybrid fabric tail with our silicone flipper. And for the past few New Year's Eves, we've had diamonds as sort of our theme. So I put gems all over this fabric tail. So they were like a diamond encrusted mermaid with like a Vegas showgirl sparkly top. And so there are certain things we can do for these special events. And That is so fun because I feel like, I don't know if folks know, like come in during Halloween, come in for this special stuff because the mermaids look different. Last year we were skeleton mermaids.
That's awesome.
It was amazing, yeah.
That sounds amazing. So you mentioned earlier that like, again, like back to the props, like you mentioned like jellyfish and like starfish. I imagine that like they're not like throwing starfish. Like, I don't know like how you would incorporate that into like how do you incorporate like a prop that is like I don't know how to, like a standing object. You put it on a table, like it doesn't move with a mermaid. Are they just like juggling starfish underwater? Like, I don't know how that would work.
You're in liquid space, right? So everything floats. So, and everyone sort of develops their shtick with these props. Like the little jellyfish that we have and the starfish, they're both silicone.
Okay.
So the jellyfish is positively buoyant because he has an air bubble inside, but the starfish is neutrally buoyant. So if you throw him in, he just kind of hovers, and you can move the water around to make him move around. We do a lot of stuff where we're pretending to figure out how we're going to wear the starfish, right? Oh, does it go in my hair? Or does it stick on my tail? Or maybe he goes, so it's acting, right? You have to figure out what all these props, how this mermaid would interact with the props. The little jellyfish, I bop him on the head, I give him a kiss. I do bubble rings around him so he can, like a little circle goes around him. And then usually he stings me and I get mad at him, right? There's all of this stuff you can do with all these different props. But yeah, everything floats. There's no table. It's just, there it is.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I got to ask if there are like any interesting like stories that, things that have happened here at the Mermaid Bar. Like there was some instance here, or like we had somebody who had like a really cool show there.
We have done a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, we have done a handful of beautiful choreographed shows that were more like a traditional performance where there's a whole storyline and different characters, things like that. We also have had a few celebrities visit us. We had Rufio, if anyone's seen Hook.
Yeah.
He was here, he watched the show. We've had small films here. We are featured in an independent film called Lorelei, which was starring Jenna Malone, who's in the Hunger Games, and Pablo Schreiber, who's in Orange is the New Black and American Gods and a bunch of things. So the space is so unique that when people discover it, right? People still don't know that there's this mermaid bar in Sacramento. The possibilities are sort of endless. So it's been very interesting. We had one of my favorite celebrities who came to Dive Bar during Comic-Con, right? We're right down the street from the big convention center here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
We had Carol Spinney visit.
Huh.
Carol Spinney is Big Bird.
No way.
So I got to meet Big Bird. I was sitting in my tail we have a giant blow-up shell so we can do meet and greets downstairs as a mermaid. And I'm sitting there and this older man walks up and I'm a big nerd and I know who he is and I started tearing up. I was so excited to meet Big Bird. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. That was so cool. Mermaid and Big Bird. I have one picture from it, and my eyes are huge. Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Big Bird. Sesame Street, that was a very influential part of many people's childhood.
Yes, it was great.
Yeah, wow. So I gotta ask, I'm sure as a mermaid there are a lot of like jokes about, being a mermaid, swimming. I'm sure there's a lot of like the Little Mermaid stuff that gets put in.
I'd say the biggest one that I hear shouted to us from the tank is the Zoolander quote.
What's the I'm a merman?
Merman! Merman! It happens all the time, especially when the men are swimming, as you can imagine.
Huh.
I know a lot of awful mermaid puns. Definitely know a lot of those.
That's,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I make lots of calls on my shell phone nightly. Yeah.
I'm tearing up. Those are...
They're rough. Yeah, they're rough. There's always the why did the mermaid wear bee shells?
Because the seashells didn't fit?
Yeah, they didn't fit.
Jeez,
And
yeah.
the D shells were too big. So it's endless, and
Yeah, surely you don't mean that.
it's surely are joking. Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't know
Forever.
you could hear
Forever.
things.
We'll be here forever with these, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're like they go on through history at this point.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know you guys could hear anything. I would assume you wouldn't be able to hear anything in that tank.
Yeah,
like...
we can hear the music, especially if it's a song we know, right? You can hear it. It's muffled, but you can hear it. We can hear people cheering us on. So if you come see a show, please yell for your mermaid. Like, it's really encouraging because we're very visually impacted. Under the water, everything's blurry. And then we can see if there are people there, and we can see movement. So if people wave to us, we can wave back. We can see lights. So if people have their phone lights on, or it's a camera flash or something, we can see that. But we can't clearly see faces, or expressions or anything like that. So, yeah, if you're yelling, we can hear you.
Huh. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay. So we have roughly 8 more minutes of our show here. Are there any culminating thoughts that you have? I've learned so much. There's different jobs, specific people who make tails and clean tanks, and I'm sure you gotta the guy has to I'm sure just pour in a couple of cups of salt every so often.
more a couple pounds, but yeah.
Oh.
I think something that I'd love everyone to know is that these underwater performance spaces are few and far between, and it's very unique and very precious. So if you want live entertainment like this to continue to frequent these places, there's Dive Bar here in Sacramento, the Silverton Mermaids in Vegas, and then weirdly, the Sip and Dip in Montana, which is crazy.
Didn't see that
Montana,
one coming.
right? Didn't see that one coming. And Wiki Wachi down in Florida, which was one of the places that started this underwater performance thing back in, I'm going to say the 40s, I believe.
Wow.
So, like many arts things, it is precious, and anyone who's around in California or Sacramento or doing a layover in Sacramento or any of that stuff, come out, check out Dive Bar. Even if you don't see the show, the entire bar is immersive. It's beautiful. It's highly decorated. It's like a little bubble of sort of that Vegas Disney magic, in downtown Sacramento. So,
yeah, that's awesome. I wonder if there's got to be some kind of I don't know. So you said there's a convention, right? So that's where all the mermaids get together. That's got to be something.
It's wild, yeah.
It's always nice to meet other people from your profession, especially if it's few and far between.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's grown. When we opened, like I said, it was sort of, and it still is a little bit the Wild West of professions, being a professional mermaid. But there was hardly anything, right? And now there are enough mermaids who are either doing this professionally or recreationally or hobbyist, There's some crossover with cosplay, there's some crossover with freediving, there's a lot of crossover with folks who are into ocean conservation, right?
I did not know that. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, you might not listen to somebody talking about the oceans if you just see them talking, but then if you notice they're wearing a mermaid tail, right, that can be an interesting platform for that. So folks have taken this in so many different directions, which is why there's enough to have a convention here in Sacramento. It's called the California Mermaid Convention. And it happens in May every year. And the launch party, the event that launches the whole convention is here at Dive Bar.
Yeah, I bet that's a wild and crazy night.
It is a wild and crazy night. Sacramento never knows quite what hit it when the mermaids fill up Dive Bar.
Yeah, it's never seen so many fishtails.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then you also mentioned that a lot of the mermaids here they self promote right on social media as well. So that is, I guess, a part of the mermaid experience. Like, why not have people specifically come, for you or for individual mermaids?
Well, it's not so much the come see this individual mermaid, though the mermaids do have their own accounts because they do love, right, Dive Bar and being a mermaid. But the Dive Bar social media is written into our duties, right, to help promote and help get people in the door so we can still keep doing this amazing job. It's been historically a weird, slow summer. Like, folks haven't wanted to go out all summer. I don't know if it's Sacramento heat. I don't know if it's the economy that we always are blaming. And things are picking back up, again, which is great. But that social media component, at Dive Bar Sac, at Dive Bar Mermaids, is so important these days. And the mermaids got to do it as part of their jobs, but they love their jobs so much they also do the individual stuff. Like any profession where you're a lady doing stuff for an audience, or just being a lady, I guess, we have had to be careful with, making sure that those mermaids, you don't exactly know what nights they'll be there exactly, so we don't have situations where,
Things get complicated.
Things get complicated, yeah. So, but you'll see all the mermaids on the social media. Their video that they made might go up a few days after they were there, just to keep everyone on their toes. But yeah, all of them are always featured.
I guess, what about like nail polish? Does that have to be like different?
Gel nail polish has been a game changer for the mermaids. That and those like nail stickers, right? Have you seen those where it's like a nail polish strip? I
think so.
Those stay on really great. I keep my nails very, very short because turning a nail inside out or breaking a nail while you're shoving yourself into that tail is terrible.
That sounds horrible.
It is awful.
Like how long does that, like the setup take, to like get ready for a show? Because obviously you said there's makeup, you got to put on the tail, you got to like put on stuff on top of the tail.
Mm-hmm. I would say we have an hour, right, to be in the tank at a certain time. New mermaids, it can take up to 10 minutes to get themselves in that tail. Experience, like I can probably do it in 3.
Well, you said they have like an hour to be in it. What does that mean? You have an hour prep time?
You have an hour prep time. So that's your makeup, that's picking out what top you're going to wear, doing any stretching you decided you need to do, figuring out what the social media is going to be that night, what your content is, because it's a content world now,
That it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming here on the show and telling us all about the wonderful world of mermaids. I've learned so much and found like a couple more people I got to interview.
Absolutely. Find them. They're under the sea.
Aren't we all? I guess we are all under the bar, the dive bar.
Yeah, we are. Right here in Sacramento.
All right. Well, this has been another great episode of the How Did I Get Here show. I've been MCEscher. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.